It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, starting at verse 11, and it reads, we'll read it in both the KJV and the NLT, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Same verse in the NLT, "so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes." I want to start off by giving all praise, all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Chakras for thumb. I say double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who do teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, not more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat that they're listening and learning, Lord willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. This is the brother Yahweh, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. This lesson is inspired by, I forgot what brother mentioned it. It was an elder brother, I know that for a fact. And I went and researched it. Well, I didn't research it, I looked it up, did a quick Google search, came up, and, I put it on the back burner for artillery for another day, because we constantly throwing up these lessons to chat down Babylon the Great, aka America. So when you go into this word, at least Satan should get an advantage of this. So when you go into the word, pretty much devices, which is this word,
Strong's G 3540, Naima,
which means a mental perception, thought, an evil purpose, that which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So they're plans for the future. These plans that these elites and these different organizations, because you got different organizations. Well, you got different organizations that's pushing the same agenda, but you got because you got like the Bilderberg Group and Council 300, or the no, it's not Council 300. The Committee of 300, I think. It's a multitude of different organizations that's all looking to bring in this system. So that's the whole thoughts or purposes, their plans, and at least we be ignorant. At least we be, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, or at least Satan outsmart us. For we are not ignorant of his devices, because it tells you in that's Amos chapter 3 verse 7, the Most High surely will reveal his secrets unto the servants and prophets, which that's why we have knowledge of both the left hand and the right hand, as far as what these devils are trying to implement. And the spirit is really working. That's why the scriptures talk about the spirit of flesh, or the spirit of the Most High, Salakia. I think it's in Joel, shall pour out on all people. I think it's in Acts as well. But and your son shall be prophesied, and and dream dreams. So yeah, this article caught my attention, and it says pretty much Macron, which is the president of Babylon of France. I said Babylon the Great, of France, pretty much calls for a new world order. Europe cannot be limited by EU and NATO. If the continent is to be peaceful, the French president has said. French President Emmanuel Macron has called for a reform of the current unjust world order so that humans can coexist more peacefully. And this is all them speaking in code to one another. You know what I mean? Like, they constantly calling for a new world order. These people do not give a fuck about the people of the world. If that was the case, look at those victims of the hurricanes in North Carolina and Florida. You know what I mean? You got individuals in politics in Europe basically talking about what Babylon the Great, these Americans, these Babylonians, what they're putting up on social media, what they're putting up on the internet, showing you that you don't have no rights. You don't have freedom of speech. And these people are going to learn that in the day when they come out with great wrath. Revelations 12:12. French President Emmanuel Macron has called for reform of the current unjust world order so that humans can coexist more peacefully. He outlined his vision on Sunday as part of the International Imagining Peace gathering in Paris, which brought together leading political and religious figures. Speaking before the Catholic community of Saint egg ido santa santa sant Egido, Macron said, we must be imaginative enough to think about the peace of tomorrow, a peace in Europe, and a new reform. And you got to understand when they're using these words, peace, they're, you ever heard of a snake oil salesman or, a double forked tongue? That's why, you know, Gad, the tribe of Gad used to call Esau Edom the forked tongue devil because he speak he speak with a forked tongue. He'll say one thing but really mean another. That's Satan for you. You know what I mean? And they still do that to this day. A lot of it is, like Jake be thinking they be talking in code, but you ain't doing shit as opposed to what these elites doing. Like they have conversations before our very eyes, but majority of the populace is not familiar with it. Because they speak through symbols. A lot of ancient symbols. You wondering why these symbols there is because it means something to these elites that rule the world. Matter of fact, let me get that. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, and verse 24, and it reads, come on, don't do that. This book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the scripture's pretty much asking, if this man is not the wicked, and the scriptures tell you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, but if this man is not, who's ruling the earth? Who's passing policy? Who tells you what you can and cannot do? Whose image is on the money? You know what I mean? The scriptures tell, or society, they tell you, who can't you speak against? Who can't you speak against? The so-called Israelis, the so-called Israelis, the Khazars. You say anything about them, and pretty much you can be blackballed. Look at Kanye West. Look at Kyrie Irving. And they're not completely blackballed because of the fact, them hunkies make money off of them. But at the same time, they shut down a lot of shit. They find them, and the average nigga love money. You know what I mean? They love filthy lucre, but don't even understand what true money is. So it says, if these ain't the wicked, then who is the wicked? That's the Lord being facetious, sarcastic. Because like the elder Yashawamba from Dallas was saying, he said, when you look at what's going on in the world and who did these certain things in the world, you cannot say a nigga's a bigger drug dealer. You can't say a nigga's the most violent person on the planet. Ain't these the people that's the only people that use nuclear weapons? Didn't they drop a bomb on a cold country? And that's why that country submits. That's the real reason why Japan is, like in league and, because of America, because of what America did with Nagasaki and Hiroshima. If the European continent is to become more stable, everyone should acknowledge that it is neither quite the EU nor resolutely NATO, he stated. And this is all semantics, because when you go into the whole understanding of EU and NATO, EU is the financial arm of that whole system. You got all these different nations, these Edomite, European Edomite nations, people that look like the Edomite, so-called red people. I mean, so-called white people that are really red, slip of the tongue but out of the heart. And you'll understand the EU is the financial branch of that. The NATO is the military branch of that. So for you talking about it's not just quite EU and not just quite NATO, fuck out of here. We will have to think of a new form of organization for Europe and rethink our relationship with Russia after the Ukraine conflict is over, the president added. But what they don't understand is this Ukraine conflict will never be over with because Babylon the Great is going to pretty much go to war with Russia. That's your World War III. The scriptures tell you in the book of Jeremiah that the least of the flock shall draw them out. So those Israelis or those Khazars, those so-called Jews, but are, not the real Jews, the scriptures tell you that a bastard should dwell in Ashdod. Esau is, a son of the Most High, but he's a bastard. So he doesn't have a father. You know what I mean? Like the Lord doesn't fuck with Esau. And he's drawing out these big, the least of the flock is going to draw out Babylon the Great, aka America, because the real war is going to be between Babylon the Great and Russia. You know what I'm saying? Or NATO and Russia. You get what I'm saying? Because Babylon the Great is like the unofficial head of NATO. It says Macron has sent mixed messages regarding the hostilities between Russia and Ukraine as the conflict evolved over the years. And the thing is this, how can you really have anything to say? That was once one part of their nation. That's like sitting up there saying, being in Texas talking about succeeding, these certain states talking about succeeding. What's that nigga name in Florida? The mayor down there, or the governor, Salaki, the DeSantis. As much as he say he don't fuck with the current administration, like that's sedition. So if Babylon the Great was to try and basically police that, you know what I mean, and then another country has something to say about it, you think Babylon the Great gonna really give two fucks? Like, Babylon the Great is pretty much being shitted on by the rest of the world, watching how they treating their people. You got people talking about the North Carolina situation. They're trying to send aid. You got so-called Babylonians that really believe in this place talking about, literally talking about we leave no brother behind. They trying to help one another. They trying to help those people, and the military is stopping them. Why do you think that is? Because this is a time of that great, what did they phrase it? That dark winter. You coming into a time when this probably gonna be a very bad winter, just because I've spiritually been seeing a little weird shit. I've been seeing groundhogs. Groundhogs running around, and we ain't even got the winter yet. I've never seen that shit. And I'm like, damn. And then it wasn't one, it was two of them. Like they motherfucking like they have it for like a man and his mate. Because the Lord said I made 2 by 2. It's always a male and a female. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Yeah, because they want you desperate. They want you to run out to them for help. The same people that's causing the issues is going to bring you the solution. And that's your order out of chaos. The speech comes as Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky is set to meet U.S. President Joe Biden to present his so-called victory plan, a purported roadmap to pressuring Russia into pressuring Russia into conceding defeat. And this is some bullshit. This is just the Russia's not about to basically. I literally bring this out a lot when I speak on, this World War III thing. Russia has the full backing of their government, and I don't know about the people, but I do know the government. Like, it ain't gonna be no sedition or no what's they called, like uprisings in the government trying to take, like, they all in agreement with Putin, because this is biblical prophecy. This is meant to take place, because out of this is gonna be the war of Armageddon, or the war of Armageddon, or the war of Yahweh, the battle of Yahweh Shaphat, meaning the mountain of troops, because literally Putin has the backing of his government to end up over in the land of Israel. No matter where the fuck they go, they say you got the full backing of the military and the resources to do what you're gonna do. Putin is talking about using nuclear missiles. What the fuck is you talking about? This is gonna be over with. This is it. And then the funny part is, like, you got people struggling here, with them hurricanes and disasters. They try to give those North Carolina people $750 fucking dollars, but they sent $150 billion to Lebanon. So, people saying that movie Civil War, but pretty much don't really even see what it means spiritually. The Civil War is gonna be here with these migrants and these Babylonians and these so-called Egyptian. The modern day Egyptian is the Edomite, the so-called white man. And that's where you're going to get your Jacob's trouble, which is going to be trouble for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. And the scriptures talk about Jacob's trouble is going to be like a time like never before. Out of all the violence that's taken place on the earth, this is going to be worse than all that. And motherfuckers playing, though. So the Lord got you in that playful spirit, so I'm going to leave you the fuck over there for real. I'm not trying to get nobody to get something that they don't want. You know what I'm saying? Scriptures tell you in the book of Isaiah chapter 33, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. You got motherfuckers don't even understand. Motherfuckers distracted by some Puff Diddy. I said Puff. Fuck that nigga, man. Like that nigga did all that shit. You don't think he did that shit? You a goofball then, nigga. Now the thing is to show you how a nigga never have a place here. I bet you he'd be the only one that looked like when they had the House of Windsor. They had the Queen's son in these fucking parties. But I bet you that won't come out. I'm about to just end this because I just got pissed off for it. These motherfuckers can't see who the devil is, and that's why a lot of people gonna die by the hands of the devil. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. And it says, But but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Because if you got that spiritual eye salve and you in the right spirit, you can see what season we in. If you can't see that this shit going down, everything scriptural is coming to pass. Like, they talking about you had storms that did shit that they never done. You got people don't believe that they literally got technology to pretty much manipulate a storm. You got people took some experimental medicine and then motherfuckers died left and right and motherfuckers can't understand why. This is how slow the people is. I forgot, what's that movie called? Idiocracy? Where motherfuckers wasn't drinking water. They was drinking some kind of man-made bullshit like Gatorade just because the people said this was better for you. Motherfucking common sense just out the window. I remember my brother said common sense beat book smarts every fucking day. And that's the facts. Verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Motherfuckers don't even know what day of the Lord mean. People think people think that God is all love. Go look up, I challenge you, go look up what the day of the Lord is in the scriptures. And when you see it repeated over and over, it's not a beautiful day. It means the Lord about to come to destroy the world. While motherfuckers sitting up here talking about, oh, God is just this. Do you understand that? If the Lord flooded the earth and killed everybody but a family, why do you think God is all love? Don't you know that the Lord visiting the earth right now with all these people dying and shit? Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. The Lord is coming to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. Like I said, scriptures talk about because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, pretty much they think they got away with something. Motherfucker get away with something thinking they got away with something. The Lord, it tells you in the scriptures pretty much, how does it go? I just read the scripture too. It talk about how pretty much they not going to escape their judgment. We didn't get a chance to escape ours, So why do they think they going to escape theirs? Why do you think motherfuckers building bunkers if the world was so safe? Verse 4, and the Bible tells you they're going to go in them bumpers and they're going to get pulled out them motherfuckers. Verse 4, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness that the day should overtake you as a thief. Yeah, because we watching, We watching what's going on in the world and we line it up with the scriptures. And that's why we know for a fact and believe wholeheartedly that these things are going to come to pass. Do you know that belief, hope, confidence, and faith are all synonymous? We know that this is going to happen because we know the Lord is real. Then literally, you can't tell me that. Like I said again, a motherfucker tell you they believe in this or they follow that. But if you can't explain to me what you believe, how do you really believe it? Verse 5, ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness, because night represents sleep. And a lot of these people are asleep. They don't really see what the fuck going on. And that's why it's going to creep up onto them like a thief in the night. That's why it says it like that. And it's repeated like that multiple times in the scriptures. People didn't even know that they was about to have a longshoreman strike. Do you understand what the longshoremen do? They fucking give you everything you got in the store. So if they'd have striked, what do you think would have happened? It'd have been worse than COVID. And they did strike for like 5 days. So on top of an already fucked up economy, every day they strike, they said that cost equivalently like $5 billion. They strike for like 5 days. On top of everything being fucked up already. Then you had people that was pretty much panic buying, because even though they tell you everybody in the Babylon the Great is Americans and we all with each other, no, niggas don't think like that. Niggas talking about fuck you. And if you ever seen that movie World War Z, that's a perfect example of it. The nigga thought he shot the dude. He thought that the police was about to rescue him. The police walked past that nigga, got his diapers for his house. Like, fuck you, nigga. I don't give a fuck what. Right. And that's what you call pandemonium. All demons. All demonotic. That's when all the tough motherfuckers gonna show how tough you really is. It's the book of Daniel chapter 2. Because when you go into the scriptures, it tell you the system that this devil trying to create is something that, pretty much has been the Lord pretty much gave each, like, because of biblical prophecy, he raised up certain nations. It tells you in the book of Daniel about the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and he give it to whomever he will. So this so-called white man is in rulership because the Lord ordained it. We was in rulership and we didn't do the right thing, but it was ultimately the will of the Lord, because we in these weak ass, fucked up ass bodies. You got this show you the state of Jake, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. All my life I wanted to know why they don't have nothing to say about our people. Our people do everything. We the best football players, best boxers, best baseball, but we do everything better than everything, right? But they have no understanding or can tell us anything about us. I always wondered that. You tell a nigga today that you an Israelite, you God's chosen people. That's why the fuck you so much better than everything. Because the Lord, has care upon you. Even in your captivity, we get taken care of. I know niggas right now ain't thinking about doing nothing. They got the government taking care of them, getting all the free money. They don't want a system like this to end. And you in an oppressed ass system, just getting whatever scraps this devil give you. Like the fuck? Well, guess what? You gonna really love what's about to happen now, because they gonna give you a universal basic income. And the thing is, but you ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. You ain't gonna be, they gonna be able to tell you what you can spend your money on. You still like that system for free fucking money? Motherfucker don't even know what money is. Money ain't no piece of paper. That's a currency. I'm gonna just read because it just got pissed off. Again, it's like when you go into Daniel chapter 2, it talks about the different kingdoms that rose up, and basically the king Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, pretty much had a dream from the Lord, and nobody could decipher the dream except for Daniel. So the Lord supped with Daniel, gave him the vision and the understanding of it, and fucked Nebuchadnezzar's head up to the point he told him his dream and the understanding of it. And that was just a little way that the Lord showed his power in the earth. That's but just a little thing to where a king was humbled, like, damn. But you had the ancient, this goes into, you had the Babylonians, you had the Medo-Persians, you had the Greeks, and that's where the Greeks came into power, the so-called white man. The Greeks came into power. You had niggas trying to be Greeks, just like you got niggas trying to be Americans today. Then you had the Greeks turn into the Romans. The Roman culture pretty much died. That's why you talk about the beast that was wounded but did live. Because pretty much Babylon the Great, aka America, has resurrected ancient Rome. That's why you got Latin letters and Latin, they speak Latin, and as a lawyer, they put all the terms, and well, I ain't gonna say all of them, but they use a lot of Latin. Because this is Babylon the Great. This is Rome revised, mentioned in the book of Revelation chapter 13. But this place is gonna come to be destroyed. This is the book of Daniel chapter 2 and verse 32. And it reads, this image, his head was of fine gold, his breast and his arm of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his leg of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. And that's the image. You had a head of gold, his breast and his arms was silver, his belly and his thighs was brass, his leg of iron and his feet part of iron and part of clay. So you got that's five different kingdoms. You had the Babylonians, which was the gold. You had the Medo-Persians, which was the silver. You had Alexander the Great, which was brass. Then you had his legs of iron was Rome, because Rome created the gladius. They pretty much changed warfare with that sword. And then the feet of iron and miry clay, or clay, is Rome revived. It says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. And that stone, which is the cornerstone, if you know anything about construction or building a house, they got one stone that starts the foundation off. So, pretty much, and we're, lively stones likened on the Yahushua, because we're following him. It says, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like a sheaf of the summer threshing floor, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So once Yahushua destroys this current system, this beast system that's being created by these Edomites, our government is going to raise up out of that. And it said what? It said, and that stone that smote the image became a great mountain, which a mountain can represent the government as well, and filled the whole earth. And that's how when, Israel, Yasharallah, will have dominion over the planet again, when Yahushua pretty much comes and takes this place down. And we know through the scriptures, certain men are going to be blessed to be able to partake in that. This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 12. I'm going to end it on this. It says, I'm going to start at verse 11. Job 5 and 11. To set up on high those that be low. This Most High took a demon, a devil, a base man, Esau, Edom, and put him in a high regard, high esteem. He elevated him. Because you got to remember, they lived in mountains. They was brazen. They didn't have a language. That's why they steal everybody else's culture. Man, if you got the Lord dealing, you can see this. Like, it ain't complicated, like the elder said. But some are blessed to see it, and some are not. It says, to set up or hide those that be low, that those which more may be exalted to safety. Verse 12, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their heads cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. These devils about to create this system, but it's not, they creating all this chaos. They doing all these different things, but it's going to go out of control. There's a such thing called the chaos theory, but the truth of the matter is you cannot control chaos. Joker is a spirit. It's so spiritual because I didn't even know they made a part 2 to Joker. Now they released it like this month, right before the election. Watch how these motherfucking people about to go ape shit crazy. So, and the Lord is going to disappoint that, he going to bring it into fruition to a degree, because the fact is he want to try and test his elect. But this is not, Jacob's trouble and this, this whole situation with the C-hip is not, if you are the elect, you're going to pass it. Point blank, period. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Central India, West India, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who do teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquath to listen and learning. Lord willingly, this is edified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appear like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, shalom, shalom. Kwab, Yasharallah. Bawath Lababal. Shalom.